elimination and getting to continue that lower bracket run.
Yeah, who would they be playing up against if they were end up getting the W? Would it be Legacy, I think?
Legacy, so yeah, that's a pretty tough opponent.
Mm.
Heroic did run them over 2-0. There's a lot of 2-0s in this bracket. The only one was literally Waska Win Traders so far.
Mm-hmm. I think this has got the potential of going to 3 games.
Well, let's see if we cast or cursed it or not. But there's potential as the tournament progresses. Then again, it is the lower bracket round 1, right? You'd expect 2-0s to happen in the first phase. There's always disparity between teams when it comes to qualifiers, but these DreamLeague qualifiers have shown that nothing can be taken for granted. And I think it's actually pretty cool that also the first round is super competitive.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Just having a look at Dark Margo. He's playing around the vision that his Observer Ward's providing him. He's looking to check, just barely stepping onto that tower range, while still only going to have the tower attack him if they had vision of him at the time. What's the ward situation that they've got right now? I think Quap is still holding on to the Observer Ward as the smoke just breaks. So we'll see that Tai Long has still got that Observer Ward in his inventory, and you would have to imagine that he's going to place it on the left side of this lane, considering right rune spot already being covered quite effectively.
You do say that, but remember yesterday when we had the cliff ward
True.
here, and then we had another place down here. It's like double vision for the bottom rune. But you'd be right to do so if you dropped it down. He's keeping a hold of it for now. I think he might wait a bit longer until he pops it down. Probably just to time it perfectly with the 6-minute, maybe even the 8-minute rune if he waits a couple of minutes until he places it down.
Could do. Got to be very careful about being revealed when you're going for that though, right? Because you're going up against a Kunkka. Kunkka's always going to be shoving the lane back into you just passively off the back of the Tidebringer. So a lot of information gets revealed off the back of that. Dark Margo's doing a good job CSing right now up into the pressure of the Queen of Pain.
Already the full first wave secured. Cook having a bit of a battle with Matthew in the top lane simultaneously. Omni-Knight with his 16-second cooldown Hammer of Purity.
Let him cook.
Let him cook, indeed. Sentries placed down, so both camps are blocked in top. Easy camp opened up by Yadomi in the bottom lane. They might get the chance now on the Omni-Knight. If only that arrow from Matthew connected. Cook takes the other path away.
Already running a little bit low on the old regen up on this top side, Dibujitos. So Coco has already got the tangos purchased up, but his courier needs to make a long trip back to base. So hopefully for their sake, they're able to just sit back and farm a little bit more passively underneath the tower.
Also, I just looked at mid lane as well. Tai Lung's got 20 HP. Dark Mago is playing around with the Torrent. Oh, he catches him again, but the damage is not sufficient on that level 1. And the previous one as well, he was fake casting it. It looked like he went through the full animation, walked in circles a bit, then he casts it again, fakes it again. The third time he lets it go, it catches the Quap, but he was just outside of range for the Tidebringer, which could have maybe given him the kill. But he is really just being a pain on Tai Lung.
He's interrupted a couple of bottle sips as well coming through, so it's very, very annoying stuff to have to play up against. As Tai Lung, he should be okay to be able to go back into this game, but this is the power of the Kunkka, right? It's another one of those core heroes that you don't need too many items or too many levels on him to be just so oppressive. As Kotaro, he was under a little bit of pressure, but then simple walk forward by Yadomi, pop the deluge, and then, well, kind of pressured to just walk on away, let him go and do his thing. It's already, what, 650 net worth lead for the Kunkka relative to the Quap. Dark Margo is bodying this mid lane.
He is. This Kunkka's just really made Tai Lung's life horrible. So yeah, all my graces towards Tai Lung's direction taken away already in the first 3 minutes of play. Quick pause called in by a demon, the Snapfire. Hopefully they don't have any more issues on the side of Dibujitos.
I mean, it was Tai Lung playing the Quap last time that this happened, so...
Yeah. Shouldn't get the Black Bear either. Sucks a bit for him. Already doubling the CS here. Level 4 up, but at least XP-wise, Quap has been able to get quite a lot. No denies really on Dark Mago, just fully focused on the CS.
Demon doing a nice job, though, making sure that he snags that bounty rune, so Kunkka's not going to be able to just walk on back and secure that for himself. We'll need to play a lot more around those. Well,
Trying Tylong. Is it enough to take him down this time? He went for a regular right click above a Tidebringer there.
I think that's fine. He just wants to make sure that Tylong isn't getting a lot of these last hits, right? Like, he's just trying to deny as much as possible. Typically, it was like the Quap that was that anti-mid laner, you know, prevents you from getting a lot of last hits just off of being able to out-sustain you. Well, especially in this Bracer meta, not that Darkmargo's got any at this point in time. I think he might actually have one coming on the now.
It's really pressuring the Queen of Pain here. Another Tidebringer thrown in. The wave will die.
Again, though, I just expect him to keep shoving this lane in, right? Because then Quap needs to make a decision. Do you get the last hits that you're so desperately lacking, or do you go for these water runes that also you've been having a lot of trouble being able to pick up?
Yeah.
Not so safe harbor, eh?
This is just so clean. Now the Snapfire shows up.
Not sure why. Well, maybe they think they can get a kill, but
yeah, they want to protect that water rune. They want to get Quap back up to speed, and now Kunkka is actually on the receiving end, because that is a level 2 Scream of Pain. Starts to hurt a bit. I do like that move, but it doesn't really help the Underlord.
No, not really. And Margot, I mean, he's going to get into like his basic items, you know, phase boots, maybe even a second bracer. Raindrops is godly this game, right? Like, you've got so much stuff that's harassing you from afar, whether it be the Scream of Pain, whether it be the Lucent Beam, whether it be the Scatterblast. So just something like that makes you so much tankier on top of something that's kind of busted already, your Admiral's Rum innate, that just makes you so hard to be able to take down.
Sacred and Wits both even in CS in the top lane so far, approaching their level 4s. No other thing happening here except for the Omni Knight taking some bursts and trying to dish out some bad damage back. No real killing. However, Yadomi, perfect dire scan as well. They're like, where's that bottom lane? Naga Siren caught by the scan. And I think Luna should have had the vision. And now they see the Naga Siren appear from the tree line. Omni Knight getting rooted up. Matthew. Arrow was already used, so they're going to have to do traditional ways of diving Cook under the tower. Just raw right clicks and get the job done. And that's a success. Matthew for the first blood.
It was
Results in someone moving, so I was thinking Kataro might be in a little bit of danger, and they did actually go for a bit of a dive onto him, but he's going to be fine for now. His courier got killed as well, and he's sitting down here without any sort of regen, so I wonder if they're even just going to consider going for this dive here. Domi's going to back him up.
Arrow X Mark going into mid. The boat, the arrow will connect. Tylong's just getting bursted down, and there is no hope. Darkmargo did have that level 6 ready. That was a quick call from Matthew from the top lane to mid. Just throw an arrow, bro. That's all I need.
Shoot arrow, hit arrow. The old six-sing way is all you really need. And as I was talking about before, they've got that potential to go for the dive actually jumping back there.
Might maybe cost them a bit here with maybe Demon falling. Yadomi does get the Deluge to connect, and there's the Torrent as well. Snapfire's escape has been cut short. Darkmargo, Demon, he submits to his fate.
Still well worth it, though, to be able to take out the SF, and, I mean, he had the regen rune as well from Darkmargo, so you want to be looking to make a play while that happens. I'm a little surprised that Cook didn't have just the one value point in the repel until he was level 4. You know, when you think about the lanes that you've got, like a Timbersaw does very, very little if you've got the repel onto you. Same sort of thing with the boat, same sort of thing with the Mirana jumping in, right? So it's just a bit puzzling that they enabled a lot of this early magic damage and pure damage to be so impactful against them.
All right, well, a 1K lead here for Waska. Mostly showing from that mid lane. 1,500 gold difference now. Continues to grow. Omni Knight TPing in. Tylong would like to use that Sonic Wave, but on a Kunkka, doesn't feel like that's the target. You're not using it yet. You're going to need another damage dealer, and who is that? You'd need Snap ulti probably to make that work. Snap is 4.5. You were able to get that Wisdom rune. If they didn't, it will take even longer for this Quap to find a target to kill. Killing Timber, Kunkka, even a Mirana who just leaps away. These are not good targets. The one thing you'd like to go for is Kataro and the SF, and if you go there, you're forcing up a whole fight. Like, Waska is going to defend that SF. But in the river, though, the bottle quickly up, picking up the illusion there for Tai Long. Dark Mago does get the X mark the boat onto Demon, but the repel is intervening, and now the Underlord bringing in some Necronomicon units, charging in, trying to catch Yatomi or Dark Mago, but just a bit too far away. Matthew paying attention as well. What is happening? Naga Siren dropping low, gets the web out, the cookie stun, and Yatomi's gonna fall short. Maybe
actually so
Kataro can
ridiculous.
retaliate if they can kill the Underlord here. One raise. Just to get a second, but the Underlord is keeping very close tabs here. There's the burst. The Star Storm is in, and Dark Mago cleans him up. Maybe Demon as well. Arrow is ready. Matthew just needs to connect it, and he's trying to prevent Demon from getting out. But Tai Lung soaks the arrow, and they burst Dark Mago just like that. That is the level 3 purification cookie combo with the Scream, and they will get 2 kills. Not one off of Dark Mago, but Matthew as well. So 3 for 1.
Overestimating his tankiness a little bit there was Dark Mago. You know, a lot of the times where he's been able to just shrug everything off, and Tai Lung is actually the one that's getting gone on a bit here. A bit of a late use of the repel, but still going to give him the confidence to not be overly concerned. I was about to say, Domi almost there with
Yeah, you could see the greed in Dark Mago's eyes. It's like, just get that arrow, but Tai Lung walks in between and gets the stun on another hero they didn't want to focus on, and he got the stuns to turn things around. The burst damage, that level 3 purification is no joke.
Definitely
But,
not.
They got Cook and the tower out of the way. That is sub 10 minutes, mid T1 down.
Just means that they can look to make a play with that 10-minute siege creep wave, right? Probably look to try and take away the top area of farm, everything bad that's going on. Gotta say, Wits is still getting a decent amount of farm, especially if you're able to get this kill onto Sacred, which they will, with the extra glaive bounce coming through from him there.
That's pretty good. Getting the Timber Saw out of the way. Luna keeping up with the Kunkka's net worth, who looked like he was having an excellent beginning to this game. Still has a very good start, despite that one death.
Yoinking away a little stack here is Dark Mago, that they had built up inside of the Dibujitos jungle. So just a nice quick way to be able to get that flash farm up, and his first item is going to be the Orchid, so it feels pretty dangerous to use it onto the Quap. You do need to play a little bit more backline style on Quap, which is not really how you're wanting to be playing the games. But Dark Mago, you shouldn't be in a position to be able to get that Orchid onto the Omni Knight.
Can they get Sacred again? He just respawned to push the lane, and an instant 3-man rotation response to the Timber. Mirana trying to make a run for it. Wits is cookie by Demon. Doesn't really land in the right spot. Sacred sees an opening, but the Eclipse is coming out, and Sacred is gone. Dark Mago only gets the bolt to connect on Omni Knight. He doesn't get the repel off in time, but they'll have to follow up for it. Mirana getting burnt up here. And they have to song this one. Kataro, does he get in position? Does he get that Requiem of Souls connected perfectly? He does. Queen of Pain will melt as well. And with the SF, they feel able to get some kills going their way. Wits is dropping low. Kataro's got no mana, but it doesn't matter. The right-click damage is overwhelming against the level 1 Atrophy Aura. That's not really a sizable reduction against them. Double root there from the Pit of Malice. Demon 6 seconds for another cookie. They don't have spells available. They back out, but Dark Mago will burn. The Flames of Hell by this Underlord.
Big team fight win coming through there. Honestly, both teams came out pretty even off the back of that, but I'd say the surviving heroes are the ones that are going to be very satisfied about that. And early on, Snapfire getting up to that level 7, level 10, big power spikes coming through. We've seen how impactful a lot of that damage is going to be coming through. Wouldn't be surprised if she was sitting at like number 3 right now on the damage output, just behind probably Timbersaw and Kunkka.
3-man smoke coming out as well from the mid lane here. Dibujitos looking to evade the triangle here. There's an ancient stack. SF is at 1000 HP, and he's not in position to pop this smoke either, so he does not get a warning sign. Demon finishes him off with the cookie, and they get to clean up the stack too.
Very nice. Big injection of gold here for Tai Lung off the back of that. Just using the Sonic Wave, of course, for the damage, but ended up securing a bunch of those ancient creeps as well.
Exactly the hero you want to use it on.
Ooh. Very close to being able to secure the kill onto the Naga as well, but Naga got raindrops. No, Quap's got it at this point in time. Still feels really good though, going up against the Shadow Rays, going up against the Starstorm. Building into that Dagon as well, so looking to be just that much more tanky once you are in the middle of these team fights, because you still do need to kind of fulfill that role right now. Underlord doesn't want to be on the front lines. He wants to be that second point of call. Come in, get all of those Necrobook units, use the mech. You start to make that impact after the fact. Enable yourself to be a little bit more greedy.
So, on the point here, I have a really serious question for you.
Go on.
What is your favorite Dibujitos on Facebook? Because I have this, like, I think one of the first fun memes that I actually saw on Facebook was you have a ship, you name it relation, now you have a relationship. It was funny like 13, 14 years ago.
I was about to say, when was this meme from?
What about yours?
I mean, I still think one of the greatest memes of all time is Doge. Like, it stood the test of time so well. Like, everyone still knows it. The Doge dog unfortunately passed away recently. Its name was Kabosu. It's grapefruit in Japanese, but you know, it was loved by all. Good little girl.
Yeah, was a very great fruit when you consider the success story of that. And like you said, still being used. You have the small Doge, and then you have the absolute packed, muscular Doge as well.
Oh yeah.
Has transformed in time. Talking about transformations, whose timings are we looking at most here? Waska's or Dibujitos?
They seem pretty even, to be honest, right? Like, you've got a lot of stuff where they're kind of in this weird middle ground on Waska, where you've got the Orchid, but no real ways to commit in onto the fight without risking your life too heavily for Dark Margot. It's gone beyond that point where you're, you know, this irresistible force on the Kunkka. It's still, you know, you're strong, but you're not unbeatably strong. We've seen that, you know, when he tried to commit into a 3-on-1 matchup and it just didn't work out very well for him at all. Try and maybe get wits. Observer, what I thought might have enabled him to go for that sort of play, but instead, backs off in time. Top
TP's
side.
pop. Yeah, they're trying to push this tower down. Sacred's already moving ahead, but he'll spot that there are multiple TPs coming in, and with the night vision, once again, the team on the dire side, they will spot Sacred before he gets proper info on how many there actually are in this area. So quick trade for that tower going down, but with the whole team here, you've got two options here. Can you take Roche? Are you splitting to farm? Are you team fighting? Got Domi. Solar Flare is popped. Tai Lung's in the front line. Sonic Wave to try and zone them out. He gets saved by the cookie. Blinks out. That was an absolutely beautiful save there from Demon. Allows Tai Lung to live a bit longer. Kataro has to keep running because the Adomi's already down. He just dropped the Requiem, but look at that snap. Just burn an SF. Gets the Orchid turnaround onto the Queen of Pain, but Kataro is dead, and now they might lose everybody else.
Rook's still alive as well.
Sacred respawn, TP'd in, and he's being chased right now. There's the Lucent Beam, perfectly timed, cancels the chain, and there you have it. The Dibujitos, they've got this fight in the bag.
They do indeed, and you mentioned the potential to go for Roshan. I'd say it's honestly almost still there, but they just want to sweep across the map, take away a little bit of that control, get this Watcher down, maybe even place a deep Observer Ward just to be able to scout out if there is some more Ancients going on. But, I mean, Cook, to me, was the MVP of that fight. Like, his positioning was really solid. He got off the rappel at a lot of good times. There were a lot of good individual plays coming through there, right? Tai Lung, with his Dagon, he's got the spell Lifesteal coming through from that, so he made sure to just use the Dagon onto anything that was going to give him some of that Lifesteal back. He used Sonic Wave onto 2, even though it wasn't, like, confirming a kill. It just kept him alive long enough that he was still able to impact the latter parts of that team fight. Demon, he's looking to scale himself. He's already building into the Maelstrom on this Snapfire. Pretty much level in net worth with the Timber Source, so... You know, I'm a Snapfire enjoyer, man, and this is why. 6, 1, and 7, high damage involvement. Now he's level 10, so he's got that Scatter Blast available too. It's a ton of damage that you're able to output.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Win probability shows a very grim number. I don't know if I fully agree on that.
Middle tower is under attack.
Look at the amounts of lockdown, how Waska fights. It's Song Requiem for the time being. X-Mark Arrow is your other combination. If they don't get to start fights, or if they don't find pickoffs with that X-Mark, it's superior team fight on the side of Dibujitos, and them having that tiny lead as well. It's taking away a lot of the initiative from Waska, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's what I was like. They're in this little weird middle ground at this point in time, as Underlord was actually considering going back in. Nice pushback with the Sonic.
They're
roll onto
absolutely going in by the looks of it, because they jumped the Underlord. He's like, well, we're doing 0 damage. He's got Crimson Guard mech, and now they dive Dark Mago, following on Matthew. Zomi trying to get to safety of the high ground. Matthew, he does have another leap. Wits will chase the Marana. It's a bit of a roly-poly. Around the tree we go. Wits still sees him, and the Lucent Beam just not enough. Gonna need a Conda for it, but hey, we're diving a tier 3 for a moment.
Reel in. Reel him in.
There we go. Arrow. Oh, still not enough for
And
the
the
repel. They have all the answers.
Still, though, it gives them a good amount of space, right? Where Wits is just able to say, okay, you three try and do this, just save. And, well, they don't have a tier 2 glyph available as Sacred. He's going in kind of deep here.
Song. Kataro here.
Around. I mean, you've got the Crimson and the mech available.
Underlord doesn't even go straight under him either, but the Requiem does connect onto the Omni Knight, onto the Underlord, but also the Eclipse is doing damage. Hitomi's already out. He's already done his job. What can Waska do to retaliate? Or are they just on a full retreat by now? Naga did use all of his abilities, but they just can't find an opening back in. Arrow is available. Dark Mago does have the X mark, but Sacred just goes down. And Matthew, well, he was able to escape the last time. Underlord portals to get AA just a little bit closer. That's a T2 going down as a result of that fight. Another swing for Dibujitos.
And Roshan's going to be down bottom in the next 30 seconds, so maybe now with that tier 2 tower down, with a lot of their deep vision as well, they're feeling comfortable enough to be able to just go and claim that for themselves. This is the scary part of that Luna, right? When she was dying in just the one time previously, she didn't have any points in the Luna orbit, so there wasn't any ways to be able to just, get some passive lifesteal off. But now, you've got a tier 2 neutral item, you've got that People's Gift, or a whole lot tankier, 2.2k HP he's got to play with, even just with the Adri treads on. So, looking like a scary point for this game so far, and I'm not sure if I agree necessarily with the item progression, right? Nothing against the Kanda, but I feel like it maybe is, not the next item that you get, but the one after that. There can be something that happens in the meantime. I guess this makes sense, right? Instead of going the Phylactery first, he's just going to go into the crit stick first and still have that level of damage and farming and impact now.
Right, yep. I get the shard on the Naga, then the Naga dies. A bit unfortunate.
Yeah, you saw how much emphasis they were putting onto taking out Cook, right? Because he just nullifies pretty much everything. This is what I was talking about with the repel for the laning stage, and why I was a little surprised that he didn't put any points into it, because I feel like with repel on against a Timbersaw and a Marana, they do nothing against you, right? Like, pure damage just gets completely nullified by that, and the Marana, for all the good things that she is able to do, I don't think we've seen too many solar flares, and you're not exactly right-clicking too much outside of this SF.
Here, moving all the way into the top lane. Dark Mago, BKB teleport out. With the help of that Aegis now, at least there's not a Tormentor or a Wisdom to take. So Waska, a bit of damage control in a sense. They don't lose everything in that top area. The team one's already gone. So honestly, you're just looking at a T2 tower and potentially losing control of your triangle. You do have a bit of map to play with.
Has to be a little careful here. Right now, he's just playing the scout, essentially. Looking to try and wherever they're looking to make moves across the map, and that Observer Ward after the team fight victory, when you know that they went inside of your triangle, is still there. So that's why they were able to just walk on up to Taro and disrupt his farm. He's falling behind a little bit now, right? 3k lower than the Luna. Of course, a big part of that is the team fight losses, but it doesn't feel like he's felt comfortable to be able to go out into the lane at all.
Still moving around in the triangle, hoping for a mistake to happen on the side of Waska. Sacred has picked up the Invis rune. He's the one who gets spotted. Tai Lung knows about him, but does he know about the vision? Well, Sacred reveals himself in the river. He had no vision on the high ground, so he didn't even know about the Queen of Pain. So he's going to have to teleport straight back home. Wits alone for now. Dark Mago doesn't get the torrent on him. He just destroys the creep wave.
I wonder if Katara is going to just put one value point into that Feast of Souls at level 17, because he's almost got the Daedalus available. And I know it does cost you 5 souls to be able to do it, but you get 8 seconds of extra 40 attack speed. And, you know, with the growth bow that you've got as well, that is going to be a whole lot.
And the thing is, right, he doesn't have any surplus over 20, right? So he's not really losing too much picking up a point in Feast of Souls. If you had, like, say, 25, 30, anything above that, reeling on the Underlord, the cookie pushes him almost to the same spot that he started to get reeled in.
Should be fine, though. He's got full auras now, and this is it, right? This is why I was saying I really don't mind this Dibujitos draft at all, because how are you supposed to kill too many people on this draft? You've got Aura, 4 of them just on Underlord on his own, and then Omni Knight's just going to be sitting on the back lines. You see how far back Cook is able to play because he's got a Blink Dagger as well. So all he needs to do is play around this high ground vision and make sure he doesn't get smoked onto.
Some moments here for Waska. They're going to try and initiate onto Wits. The boat flies in. The stuns on Luna. Almost getting that Aegis through. 600 HP, all that's required, but it's not going to be enough necessarily. The reel in once again. Gotaro loading up the Requiem, but Wits is too far away to let it go. Repel looking at the safety. Now the turnaround here. Dibujitos taking the fight as well. Taking Yadomi already out of play. No song from the Naga.
You're not killing
Sacred
anyone.
going down as well. 2 dead. 3 dead with the shotgun from Team, and I know you're really satisfied about that full 4 kill. Dark Mago BK beat up Tylung. He goes too deep here. He does have the Shiva's guard active to pop, but only gets to cast it as he dies. So that is the SF ulti for a kill.
I'm more satisfied about just a godlike Snapfire at this stage, right? 9, 1, and 11. Not even level 15 yet, right? So I would imagine that he's going to look to try and become that semi-carry if this game does go to the later stages, although right now Dibujitos, they've got firm amount of control over it. Going into that Glipnir next though, right? And I'd say that's probably the one area that they are lacking a little bit on Dibujitos is the lack of control, right? You can just walk around in a lot of these fights. You've got BKB now on the Conquer as well, which makes things a whole lot more challenging. If you're rooting the Timbersaw and you're rooting the SF, like, what are they going to be able to do about it, right? They're just going to be so vulnerable to, you know, Glipnir, Little Shredder, full charges into it, and then the Mortimer's Kisses after the fact. No forced movement from anyone, I think, on the entire team as well. So you can't even force staff people out of the Pit of Malice. It just makes setup so much easier for this dire draft. And still 20 seconds left on that Aegis, so it's like they're trying to get at least 1 lane of Rax before this one finishes up. Not wanting the range Rax to die first. Reset the glyph.
Just trying to find an angle to open up here. Really just the slows and the torrents that they're working with here, but it's not enough to get to the Luna. 3.6k HP as well. Underlord getting pushed in. This might be the opening here that they can get the Aura carrier out of the way. Sonic Wave flies in. Underlord doesn't find a way out though. His mana's completely gone and he is dead, and that should be a call for Dibujitos to back away. Matthew though wants to hunt for more. Wits already dropping the lunar orbit. Maybe Yadomi drops once again. He has to be the sacrificial lamb of this team. Sacred on once again. They push the Luna to the high ground. The Orchid's there. He does have Manta, but he never popped the Manta for the Silence Dispel, and now he's just getting jumped on. Wits is dropping. He's dead. Cook's low. Demon has to get out. Omni Knight's getting right-clicked to death. Snapfire walks into the vision of the Sentry. And Dibujitos, well, you didn't even get the full lane of Rax either.
Little bit tunnel vision there by the Luna, right? Just wanting to go in, wanting to make sure that they could secure the very last bit of that that Rax, like you were saying. But after the Aegis expired, didn't even like do the little thing, switch the magic wand back in, get that little bit of extra heal that you're going to be needing. And I mean, just committing to a team fight when your Underlord is dead is very questionable in my eyes, considering, like I said, 4 different auras that this man is providing to you. Cannot be underestimated because they can absolutely try and rip through you if you don't have those available. Just seeing the sources of damage that came through from the Radiant team after that, and I mean, Mirana did nearly 800 magical damage. If Pipe was up, that's going to be reduced by 10% passively, of course, plus the active off the back of that. Crimson Guard would have nullified a big portion of what SF was able to do. Still hasn't put a single point into that Feast of Souls. He's just chosen to go all out into the all attributes for now.
For least. Even skipping the level 10 talent completely. Maxed out on all stats. Presence, aura, affecting buildings. Really singing her way out.
Long cooldown though, still, right? Like, a bit over 2 minutes, so I wonder if that's going to leave them feeling confident to be able to go and make something happen. They were able to be patient, let it ferment a little bit. That Wisdom Rune means that Wits is almost up to level 20 already, and that's another one of those big power spikes that Luna's able to have.
Yeah,
She's
sure
got the
is.
Enchanted Quiver, she's got the Kanda, she's almost got that level 20 with the Glaives bouncing around, and now you've got a Snapfire with a free Aghanim Shard as well, so just even more of that
Right.
sustained damage coming through.
It's a great feeling as a Luna when you already have Kanda before level 20 because you know you're going to get to it eventually. But if it is the other way around, it feels like you're in a rush to get that Kanda, to get that big power spike on your level 20 Luna. So,
Speaking of Luna, she's a little isolated here. I mean, maybe they think that everyone's backing her up, but
yeah,
this
the
Observer
Quap
Ward,
illusion.
I guess, but the Observer Ward should have seen her walking solo to that mid lane, so I was wondering if Waxa might choose to come in onto her, and they would have been successful if they were able to catch her out. She didn't have the BKB at that point in time. It's coming out on the courier now, so a little bit of an opportunity missed, not taking advantage of their vision.
Three heroes holding the high ground here is Matthew
Dire's
and
top
Yadomi, the
is under
supports
attack.
cutting out the waves, keeping that top lane protected for now. So you'd have to focus on a full health T3 tower if the Dibujitos were to look for a high ground push. That previous one didn't quite go their way. It's a couple
It's
of
a
minutes
long
ago.
Roche respawn as well. Pretty much the
Dire's
maximum
top tower
duration,
is under
guaranteeing that
attack.
it's going to be down on the bottom side.
I love how you went from a 10,000 gold lead into 3,000 gold, and all you got was 8% win probability. The Gaben graphs are not agreeing.
I mean, you just saw how unkillable they were when everyone was alive, right? The only reason they were able to get that teamfight win going their way is because it was a good ensnare, into arrow, into reel in, up onto the high ground, right? If that's not the case, then this game is probably maybe even over, to be honest,
Yeah,
right? If Underlord's still alive, you probably could have taken 2 lanes of racks minimum.
Yeah, it's like two things you wonder. Where was the repel in that? Did they believe the Sapphire Cookie is going to be enough? Then secondly, the high ground where Luna just didn't want to manta away from that Orchid, was just taking unnecessary damage and also the only target to focus on. Like a multitude of errors there for Dibujitos.
Look at those purchases as well. 3 smokes, all being purchased up by Waxa. So they've been sitting on the back foot for quite some time, but they feel like they're ready. Dark Margot, he's got the AC coming out to him on the courier now. He's actually catching out Wits a little bit here, but good positioning once again by Cook with that Blink Dagger and the Repel. Not lucky enough to get the Psychic Headband too.
That
I mean,
blink is
this is-
amazing on the Omni Knight.
It is. It's a lot of big stuff, though, coming through from them, right? Like, there's that first smoke. You've got a level 20 on the Kunkka, so Torrent only with a 6-second cooldown. It's a lot of extra control in a lot of these team fights.
Radiant are scanning.
Roshan, 40 seconds. Both teams are scanning, no connections. Starting to get a bit paranoid on the map. Where are they?
If
Also,
they don't
that
respond to this.
is-
I like the... Maybe they don't feel confident enough to be able to go into Roche because a lot of the vision on Waxa right now is on the top half of the map.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they are hanging around where these creep waves are, basically baiting someone on Dibujitos to come back and look to try and farm it. Maybe they could put a little bit more emphasis onto the tower itself, but they're still giving a lot of respect over to, again, the very strong team fight,
yeah.
the auras, everything else that they could possibly want.
Yeah. Fun fact about Waska, it's literally one letter away from being a curse word and finish.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
As an Australian, I am
Dire's are fortified.
all on board with that.
Radiant are scanning.
And you guys have some interesting words. I learned a couple from Mike, Romania. But I think I've already forgotten some of those. And I know one is probably not very stream friendly, so...
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's very...
I know there's a lot of stuff. I
No,
know.
but there could be friendly stuff. Like, do you know what, like, a bludger is? Not the Harry Potter thing.
I think so. It's not like a police?
No, it's like someone that just... very lazy, doesn't do anything, doesn't try anything, essentially.
Right, right.
Hold on, team fight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They're getting zoned out. He's already down to half HP.
Where are the
Doesn't even
boys?
get- pop his Aghanim. Man, Sacred drops really low. He's so squishy.
They're trying to bait BKB usage out of this Luna. They would love to get a nice arrow.
We might just get the Luna right away. Don't even need to get the BKB off for now. That's the Aegis gone. And now with the Requiem loaded up, Kataro doesn't get it off though. Wits will be able to pop the BKB first. I love how Kataro's loading it up, leading it about as well, but Wits is gone. And Kataro still has that Requiem if required. Just a Sonic Wave, but there are just no damage sources remaining on the side of Dibujitos. And Waska are turning things around. Underlord's TP cancelled. Tai Lung's the only survivor. It has been, I think this is since the laning stage, the first time Waska is in a net worth lead in a game. Or at least in this series, that is.
Yeah, and it just goes to show the fact that, like, I understand what Luna was doing, right? You don't want to use that BKB on the first life, especially if you're slightly out of position away from the rest of the team. You wanted to try and hold it for as long as possible with that Aegis, but the fact that there wasn't any real backup coming from the Omni was a real worry, right? That's why you picked this hero, to be able to enable the Luna to be this unstoppable force, and I mean, they're all just pushing into the base now. I think they should be able to get maybe 2 lanes of this, because you're not wanting to buy back at this stage if you haven't chosen to already. Very clever use of the Song of the Siren as well from Yodomi, right? You saw that. Hello? Seeing some dead people right now. Cook just respawned, and he's right back in the grave.
Well, now you're starting to look at buyback territory. 2 lanes of racks gone, and a tier 4 already dropping pretty low here.
It has to be careful here. They probably would have seen that smoke as well, considering it is the daytime and they had the creep.
Can't help but say this is
got a buyback.
Dibujitos.
We got a buyback.
Today. Just in that game 2 versus Beast Coast, this is picking up some similar vibes. The game has turned upside down. Inside 2 minutes, you've lost almost everything, and probably losing the game. Kataro's damage is overwhelming. The Ancient is open. Wits is backing out. Wits is minus 21 armor. Kataro has 7 lasting presence minus armor. If he remains,
he's just gone the Ancient.
If they just die right away, the Ancient
they have
is
the
gone.
glyph still.
And they are just absolutely dropping the ball here on the side of Dibujitos. Waska run them over.
They did.
Mistakes. Well, there were a couple of mistakes made in game number 1. Hopefully they don't repeat those here in this potentially their last match.
You would hope so. You know, we want to see a good game regardless of the outcome, and you want to feel like the team that makes its way through towards the next stage of the bracket to take on Legacy in that second lower bracket match feels deserving. You know, obviously the winning team would prefer it being a 2-0. That's, of course, only Waska available to Waska anymore, just to give them some time to, you know, mentally reset a little bit rather than just immediately jump into another game.
Also want to quickly give you an update as well on our sister channel at ESL Dota2 Sanj, as we're on the Yasha channel. Sanj is playing the other elimination game with Kuya Esports versus Freestack. So that is the other elimination matchup. The winner of that one goes up against Wind Traders. Here in Waska versus Dibujitos, they go up against Legacy. And I'm not
Kuya's 1 game
sure.
1, I think.
Kuya's 1 game 1. Yes, I was about to give a spoiler alert, but
sorry,
you know, Danog is your alert there. So if you do want to keep an eye open, game 2 is well underway. You can keep an eye open on that, or you are very welcome to stay here with us on the I would say primary channel here with the good boys, the good lads, covering some SA Dotes for you folks. Not entirely sure about the next matchup we're covering. Is it because you know they shift the seeds from, you know, you lose the upper bracket number 1, you go into the lower bracket number 2 to get the shift with the matches. I'm not sure if our channel is also switching things around, or will we cover Legacy versus the winner of this one? Anyway, that will be right after this series.
A lot of damage from
let's
Matthew.
see what's coming out here. Primal Beast does get himself away, but that is a Primal Beast very low on HP as he kicks off his laning stage.
Very low on HP and with Onslaught level 1. Not the way that you want to start the game. It doesn't really enable your farm all that much at all. Even Dark Willow with the Bramble Maze skilled up. No real way to be able to secure a lot of these range creeps for the laning phase. So when you're going up against Kataro, who's just going to be able to ping you from afar on this Lina, doesn't feel like a good way to be able to start this one off. So even though they weren't able to secure that first blood, you don't really... Ooh, they really were able to get that. The ice shards just slightly off the mark. The mental damage is done, and the net worth damage will become evident in probably like, let's say 2 minutes time.
Yeah, my long speech about mental readiness already going down the drain. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can just recover themselves as soon as possible. Get themselves running.
Domi just ended up getting a few free right clicks in onto him. Nicely done by Demon on the bottom side of the map to make sure that that small camp doesn't get pulled through.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Level 2 now on the Primal Beast. I'm a little surprised that they haven't, again, continued to commit in onto him. That was probably a kill if Yadomi just once again tossed out the ice shards and was able to take him out.
Very close attempts there. Primal has to be careful about the level 2 on this Tusk. Even if you manage to dodge the ice shards, there could be a potential snowball coming in. Follow up. Positive side about Onslaught is it is unaffected by the ice shards. You cannot just stop a charging Primal Beast, but the snowball is a whole different matter. That can. But you need to charge into the snowball.
Yes.
Snowball doesn't have the movement speed to catch up. Would be kind of funny if the Primal Beast is charging as a snowball. Bring the snow with him.
Should be that. Like, the faster it's moving, the more damage it does, and it's based on your movement speed when you get into the snowball. I don't know. Momentum. Crazy thing.
Maybe you get like a slow debuff for dropping snow on the ground.
True.
Tylong, he's not falling for the Dark Mago Torrent baits this time around with a different hero. It is the 2v1 lane. The Greater Treant already packing a sizable 48 damage. Wait. Oh yeah, so that should be 48 overall damage, I guess, because it's just 48, but the Treant is 46.
Max damage. I think that's
Yeah, max damage,
right.
yes.
Yeah, so he's kind of like in that little mid-ground. It's 44 to 48 is what his actual damage is on the Greater Treant.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
You can see Tylong, obviously, with the Nature's Prophet. Even being an int hero, he just wants to build up
as
into
well.
a little bit.
Big fight here. Primal Beast getting to use his full toolkit onto the Lina. Demon just casually throwing a grenade in their direction. But it's not really to do proper damage to follow up. They've got the magic one. 8 stacks. Demon's caught by the LSA and Kataro first blood.
This one's gonna be a
Demon,
scorcher.
I think they were trying to outsmart them, but that was not it.
I'm really liking the carries these days that, I mean, maybe I'm just talking as a pos 5, but, you get these Linas that want to buy the Arcane Boots, that want to be spamming a whole lot more abilities, both for the lane stage as well as actually get a kill. Up on the top
Wit
side
as well. The Luna down. Maybe the Sacred drops as well. They'll get a trade. Maybe Matthew too. But Phoenix is very long cooldowns. Won't be able to get up to speed. Willow's just going to chase Matthew. He's probably just going to kill himself to the tower.
Should get the XP from this, though.
Yeah. XP given. Split kill. Killing the Luna. Pretty
Radiant
good kill to
structures
get.
are fortified.
Mm-hmm. Ideal. Dark Mago just popping an aggressive glyph as well, making sure that he's able to stay up in the face of Tylong. Ruin his potential of getting a bunch more of these last hits. He's done a much better job in this laning stage, but again,
I was just about to say
Are
that.
scanning.
like it's a conquer, right? You can only do so much in when you're going up against this level of, let's just call it what it is, oppression.
It certainly is that. Streams are pretty pesky. Primal Beast dropping low in the bottom lane. Pretty big fight once again. Yadomi can't quite kill him off, but Demon might drop here to Yadomi. We're watching the top lane, but bottom was almost giving a kill. Now they're looking for a turnaround on Yadomi, potentially. Already Shadow Realmed up, but Onslaught, Trample, 3 seconds. Not gonna go for it.
Oh,
They
you're
are pretty low on resources.
I was thinking maybe they were looking just to see how deeply Kataro committed to that that gank attempt, because you had the Shadow Realm. He was sitting on only about 200 HP, and wouldn't have even surprised me to see Primal Beast go for the dive onto the Lina. Well worth giving up your life 1-for-1 in that exchange.
They're charging it again. This time they've got the Phoenix to help them out, but the Snowball is out.
Good spell
Quite some time. Phoenix is gonna be Three going down, but Kataro and Yadomi, they end up dying first. Phoenix lives.
Never had
Quick
a
tip
chance.
there from Demon as well. Well played with the rotation.
Hmm.
Kills off with the safe lane duo of Waska.
I mean, that's partially just due to the rotation, what the tip was all about, but also I feel like Stinger, he's been doing really good stuff in terms of like his small communications. He said, put down your Bramble Maze, and then he moved into a position that Tusk Snowball was going to get someone rooted as well. So
Yeah.
the follow-up damage plus the root enabled them to get that 2-for-nothing kill. So just these little plays that you can make to kind of set yourself apart. Stinger, of course, is a very, very experienced POS 5, so even if he's, his main heroes like the Silencer, for example, when I think Stinger, I think Silencer, aren't exactly in the meta, he's able to make it work on a very strong hero still like the Phoenix.
We are currently sitting on a pause, waiting for the action to continue. Arcane Rune has spawned top. For either one of these two mids, could be a good idea to get. Kunkka especially, full mana. Get that lower cooldown Ghost Ship. Could be totally worth a rotation.
Talon has his power treads coming out to him, but he doesn't have a TP scroll, so he's going to be very limited about what he can do in terms of that mana pool, right? No bottle for himself, no other form of regen that he's got coming through, so you have to make a choice, right? Do you stay in this lane, do you cast the Wrath of Nature, or do you teleport and have nothing else to be able to get back to safety?
Dark Mago's going to win the race. He picks up the Arcane. Bottom lane, though, they're diving Kataro again, but the charge was cancelled by the Primal Beast. Wasn't able to go all the way into the Lina. This snowball pushes them far, and suddenly there's a Kunkka in the action as well. Kataro burning. Is it enough damage? It's not. One literal tick was needed more, and that could have killed the Lina. She survives with 6 HP. And Matthew gets the double.
And that's that sort of situation that I was just talking about, right? I think they realized that Tai Long was, let's call it resource starved at that point. Like, if he TP's in, that is a completely different team fight, right? You've got all of that extra damage coming through. You've got the burst damage. Even if it's only 70 coming from the Sprout, you're forcing a hero that might not have the Quelling Blade, like Kataro, to just be stuck in place instead. All he could really do was throw out the Wrath of Nature, hope for the best. It nearly got interrupted as well by the Snowball. And at least he still took the mid-tier 1 tower, but it could have gone so much better for them.
Yeah, Tai Long was considering something that I saw the last time there was a mid-Furion in the game, where they didn't even attempt to scan or teleport to the enemy Wisdom Rune. This time Tai Long, he does both. He starts channeling the teleport, nobody under the scan, but as soon as it lit up, he decided not to go for it. So this is what I want to see Furions do. Really play active early, get those rotations in, get those Wisdom Runes contested if there's an opportunity for it.
I know it's important for him to be able to get up into that Maelstrom. I really wouldn't hate seeing him finish that circlet into a Null Talisman, just because A, you're an int hero, so it's going to give you some value when it gets to the later stages of the game. But just for that mana regen, right, you can just see Matthew making sure to use the Shrapnel to cancel out the Clarity, which means that once again, he can't look to commit with, Wrath of Nature plus, I mean, he can teleport, but then he can't get out to safety,
Yeah, and you talk about cheap farming items. Null Talisman is exactly that. Well,
know,
it's
you need to get out to
versus
safety.
1 in the top lane, Sacred. That's a pretty merciless assault.
Might be TPing all the way back to base. Is Tai Long? Or
Trying
could
to
just
fight the
stay
Primal
out of the
Beast,
map.
potentially. Oh, he's baiting him to charge. Goes to the lane. Dark Mago needs to get the X mark off, but it's only level 1. Won't be able to get the X mark on the Primal, bring it in for a kill. Tai Lung's Treant, meanwhile, finished the tower. They forgot about that pesky little tree.
It's just so annoying to have to face up against this. It takes way too long to be able to take it out, and it was a really nice draft done, especially lacking reserve time.
Oh, Matthew, love watching that action there on the Phoenix. He was canceling that shrapnel multiple times, but he waited for the Icarus dive to go off first before he finishes the kill. Now Demon gonna get brought in. The Assassinate will give him a double kill. That maybe opens up the tower too, because they are here with 4.
Could have very easily assassinated at the start, give the kill over to Dark Mago, but we know that Matthew's not that kind of player. He wants to make sure that he's getting the kills, he's getting involved as much as possible. I mean, he's 5-1-0, man. He's not about letting his cores get that last hit.
Oh yeah, I think that's something that you need from your pause 4 sniper, is to be a bit selfless. Or, I mean, sorry, you have to be a bit selfish. Get those
Radiant's
kills for
top
yourself.
tower is
Don't
under
give them
attack.
away to your cores. Smoking up towards mid. One shrapnel ready. Second coming off cooldown. Dark Mago. 30 seconds for the ghost ship. Probably has to wait for that, but since they are 3, and that's only Demon in between,
Stinger's here.
Mago doesn't quite get there in time. Stinger, yeah, he gets to intervene with this gank, and there comes the Primal Beast. Matthew's got a big streak riding on him. He turns around for the shrapnel. The snowball's going to be there. Kataro, does he get the Laguna Blade? He's out of range. Lina parked on the high ground, hoping to get some spell connections just to Dragon Slay, but they're too far away for that Laguna Blade. Lina doesn't get a freebie.
I think maybe even the pulverized slam into the ground interrupted a light strike array that Katara was trying to put out, but yeah, they just didn't want to commit into that fight and put himself at risk of falling down there. Now, I do wonder what Matthew goes in terms of his item progression, right? Like, he's gone, you know, a little bit more of this spammy style. Looks like Wits will be okay. Are you going to go into something that's kind of like a hybrid in terms of what you can do for the team fights, being able to take out the Supernova, go into like a Dragon Lance, build that into a Hurricane Pike, just so that you've got a way to be able to get away from the Primal Beast, a way to be able to get out of the Sprout as well.
The Grenade is also another great tool that you might just have to buy the shard instead of gifting it. Meanwhile, they will find Demon on top, so this Willow doesn't really have a lot of choices. This many heroes.
He tried to do it
Oh,
again.
yeah, he tried to do it again, but he won't get it this time. Meanwhile, Wits is found. Yadomi blocks the exit, and with the Portal Sacred coming in as well. Snowball to connect onto the Luna. Tiling trying to help out. They do intervene in the backline. Dark Mago probably dying here to this Phoenix Egg and to the Primal Beast, but no, gets out as well. Dark Mago on the run. 4 seconds for
Once the
another
mini's done.
onslaught, but gets pushed back. Tylung gets the kill with a teleport, and Matthew could potentially die to the Primal Beast. He's a bit tanky there with the uproar, but it's not enough. And now
He wants more.
Tylung is also getting haunted here, and it is really just a sequence of disaster here pretty much for Dibujitos. But Tylung, not enough damage to take him down. Sacred decided to turn around, but holy, that was getting really costly for Dibujitos. They couldn't get the Kunkka kill, and it went from one to another, and it's like, hey, another one.
Another one. It felt a little pub-like, to be honest. Like, everyone was kind of off doing their own thing rather than one overall strategy. The plus side, of course, for Waska is that Kotaro was not involved with that at all. He was just sitting back, wanting to get his farm, wanting to make the most out of this Maelstrom. He's not ready to join in the fights, and he won't until he's got this Gleipnir at least available. By that point, you'll probably have this pipe up on Sacred, so that's the timing that I'm really looking for from Waska. And yeah, I'm expecting them to look to really start to put their foot on the pedal once they get to that point. Of course, you do need to consider that by that stage, you're probably going to have the Sunray that you're going to have to deal with, and all these other things that are making them just that little bit more sustainable on the Dibujitos side.
I was looking at Hiko's sniper build from yesterday, if you remember the first series we covered.
Did he have a data list at the end of it?
I had a suggestion from Matthew that you could potentially go a build like Power Treads, Lance, Gleipnir, MKB, Blink, Desolator was the final item. But that was kind of like the extra flavor at the end. Didn't really do much because the game was already over at that point. Yeah, just tower taking. But he bought a casual cloak and he has the mana boots, has the shard lined up, and he wants to go Glimmer Cape. So despite all the kills, Matthew still wants to be the ultimate team player.
Yeah, I hate it. Matthew, come on. You got to be feeling it a little bit more when you've got this sort of start. I can see why, you know, you just want to make sure that you're able to, again, turn around that play that they're trying to make onto you. You know they're going for the dives, so it's just about creating enough space to enable Sacred to come in, pop his pipe, and pop the Pit of Malice. So anything that just keeps whoever's gone on alive for that extra... Can even just be 2 seconds. Could be the real difference maker. I have to wonder if he does buy that Aghanim shard. I was about to say, like, well, like if he does that, then who potentially is going to be getting the shard when the Tormentor eventually falls down? The Tusk, it's okay. I'm not crazy about the Ice Shard's Aghanim Shard bonus, but if you can give Kunkka a free shard, you would be very, very happy with that. It's just going to depend on the situation with who actually has less net worth at that point.
Oh yeah. There was the previous Kunkka build, right, with the whole Bloodstone meta. You had 18 minutes to finish Ags, Bloodstone, Blade Mail, and Shard. Maybe even the Ags on top of that. Like 18 minutes was, you needed at least some of those core items to get together. Then you are really just ready to go and pretty much try and end the game at that point.
Which I don't think you should be able to farm that quickly, to be honest. I think
Radiant's middle tower
Dota needs to be
is under
slowed down a
attack.
tiny bit.
With all the min-maxing involved in today's Dota. Dibujitos, do they defend this tower? Dark Mago is placed in front. Matthew, he's already got the aggressive vision placed down. Saw a glimpse of the Primal Beast. They're going to try and make a play on the Phoenix here. Maybe force the egg if they're lucky, and they will. But they could just back out.
What I'm always looking at this stage is like, what are they getting while this is all happening? You can see immediately Kotaro comes with that Glyphnia, so they're going to be able to get a ton of damage in onto this Primal Beast. Is it enough
kill.
though?
Top tower
Underlord,
is
though,
under
maybe
attack.
comes in for the secure here. Sacred with Yadomi, charge him down. Demon's being followed by some of these Necronomicon creeps. Good placement of the
Radiant's
gate when you
bottom
actually
tower
got double
is
the
under
units.
Okay, this is actually some pretty decent damage on the bottom tower. They got to be mindful of Tai Lung hitting into this bottom one. They've got the double Greater Treant, they've got the Siege
Dire's
Creep
top
hitting into
tower
this as
is
well.
under attack.
So mindful, so demure.
Never say that again. TP's coming in here up on the top side of the map with the
I
Wrath of
love
Nature.
how Phoenix is wrapping in behind of everyone, but hasn't got the Supernova. Underlord is just dying under the tower. Sacred's Pipe is out of play. Domi does get the ulti to connect onto the Phoenix. Snowballed up as well. Might be even enough to get this kill with the Sniper ulti. Kataro
Kataro's
gets one.
isolated.
But now Kataro is just completely found alone. Tai Lung, Wits, and Frank, they will hunt this Lina down to the ends of the earth.
Extinguished. Radiant's middle
Very,
tower
very
is under
deep.
attack.
There's not a lot here. There's the drinking
Next
buddies
to-
get the run out of this one. Both connecting and onto Tai Lung, and even Dark Mago has to run away as he's also running at 300 HP.
That's clever.
Long chase, but
Trying to pull the creep wave to the side just to give him that extra couple of yards away. Ooh, is he going to be able to get out of the sentry range? He is, but they have an idea of where Matthew is
yeah,
as well.
just bring him out. There's nowhere to run.
What is this?
Very, very deep place for them to be playing, right? Like, it's only 17 minutes into the game. Yes, you've got a good ward there, but just way, way too far, especially when you're not getting that good start to the game.
Yeah, I mean, who thought? We got Supernova out. They can't fight. Who thought that thought is probably going to cost quite a lot, because now that's not just 4 heroes dying. This is Roshan dropping at a pretty optimal timing for them to look at the tier 2 and just camp themselves for the next 3 minutes into the top lane to get the Tormentor out and maybe ward the triangle too. Waska,
Dire
I'm
has
curious
fallen.
how what their next call is going to be.
Roshan has fallen
Me
to
too,
die.
because off the back of this, you've also got a pipe coming out for the Primal Beast. So he's no slouch as well in terms of being able to enable the rest of your team to team fight. They are still quite squishy outside of the Primal himself, so this is going to enable them with the Aegis too to just feel so much tankier, so much more capable in a lot of these early fights. 4 points Icarus dive as well for Stinger. A lot of the time you see people just stick at 2 just because you're effectively doubling the damage from 1 to 2 points and putting a little bit more into that Sunray, but feels like for now, I guess he's not really focused on the team fight. It's much more about the pick-off. It's much more about putting yourself into a vulnerable position and still being able to get out to safety.
Slight advantage now here for Dibujitos, but we did say the same thing about game 1.
It's how they can close it out. I think what they're going to use this Aegis for, they got 4 minutes of time to finish at least Wits' BKB, and then they can look to make a play. Tai Lung, he'll probably be hitting it at a similar sort of timing to him. I wonder if maybe in a minute's time, what's the cooldown on Wrath of Nature? I mean, he could just pop it now, right? But when it turns to daytime and you've got that little bit of extra vision, just shove
Phoenix
the
just
lane.
walks in.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
Got a light.
Well, at least you can tell the team, I found them.
Valuable information.
That also means that Yadomi probably might do the same thing and scout onward. He has been spotted, though. And he's starting to feel like there's probably a ward. He didn't probably even see the Luna illusions walk past, and those also have pretty sizable night vision. So you can get a lot of these moments where like they have a ward here, and you don't think about the Luna night vision, especially when there's no hero around. So it's like that was just the illusions outside of Fog of War, or in the Fog of War.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Wits is doing a really good job of just keeping this net worth lead up, though. Just playing around the Ancient Camp as much as possible, playing around lane creeps. And Ancient Camps are barely worth more than a full wave, excuse me, of lane creeps, and instantly going towards that Torment, not wanting to give it up, wanting to make sure that his supports can be enabled as much as possible. Gotta be a little careful there, because I'm not sure if the two of them is going to be enough to be able to take this one out, and yeah, he needs to back off.
Bring in the backup.
He won't be able to help with this.
Demon might still die for it, but he's getting a bit of healing in. The Sunray should keep Demon up, and there we go. Tormentors given on side to side. One for Phoenix, one for the Tusk.
I mean, Phoenix Shard is, in my opinion, one of the best in the game. Like, it's just so good. You get 2 Sunrays effectively as long as you pop it prior to popping that Supernova. So, even it doesn't need. Why does it need to add a slow? Honestly, it doesn't need that. It's good enough without it.
Yeah, that is really, really strong. Because then you're getting the slow, the DPS, the miss chance. Then you also just in general the damage, which is percentage-based damage, percentage-based heal. Sunray is like a pretty S-tier ability.
Sacred, they see him. That's who you want to be jumping
backing
onto.
him up. They've got the Fury and teleporting in just in case there is a fight. So they'll get this one and the tower with 1.5 minutes remaining on the Aegis. That is also the first tier 2 tower they would get, so the glyph is going to get refreshed. That's not their high ground glyph. That, at least, still Waska still has that.
Anytime you're going up against, whether it be Dawnbreaker or Underlord or Nature's Prophet or Spectre, they're the target that you want. They're the ones that are going to be playing on their own away from the rest of the team, because they know I can just join the boys whenever I want to. So for them to be able to get that kill leads into a tier 2 tower, like you said, opens up a huge portion of the map where now Waska feel a lot less safe to be able to play, and they can still use this to convert into these BKB timings. It's been a really good past few minutes for Dibujitos. I want to see them make another play, though, while they've still got 30 seconds left on this Aegis, but maybe they feel like, you know what, level 20 on the Luna, that's really what we're playing for. I'm just a little disappointed that they're not going to be getting like value out of 2 BKBs and an Aegis timing.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Waska, do they have any vision with them here? You have one option
waiting out this Aegis.
Triangle.
They know it's timing out.
Yeah, there's the wards placed now by Yadomi, the only ward that they have. Demon teleporting over to the T1 bottom, and looks like a counter smoke's about to happen.
While the Aegis is just running out as well.
Scouting with the Luna illusions in front. Waska's already back to their side of the map.
Tai Lung just in the absolute safest place on the map, right next to his tier 3 towers in the neutral camp. Dark Margot's a little deep.
Demon smoke's popping. He's calling it for reinforcements here. Dark Margot's finally going to spot that here they are. Bolt flies in. Willow takes no damage because of the Yules, throws himself into the air. Tai Lung, there's the Eclipse from Wits as well. They force Dark Margot away, but they're splitting their damage on multiple targets, and they've already lost their Phoenix, and now they're running away.
Demon's on the high ground.
Has nothing left here. Yeah, Demon is just out of this fight completely. Tai Lung dead. Double for Kataro. Frank's trying to finish up Dark Margot. He'll get him with the onslaught, but the right clicks from this Lina, too much to deal with. Demon's still stuck there on that cliff. And Kataro looking for another kill, landing that Dragon Slave, and Yadomi takes him down with the Walrus Punch. Man,
that was so messy, and it felt like unnecessary, right? You had a Kunkka completely isolated away from the rest of his team, and they just don't go on him. They enable him to get off his entire complement of spells. I guess they don't exactly have the most stuns for themselves, right? And he's also got a BKB available, so there's nothing really stopping him from that instant boat pop, that instant tidal wave, instant torrent. It was a bad supernova that Stinger did, just right in the middle of everyone. That egg just melted. You don't even need this sniper to be going this, semi-carry, kind of can transition, but also be a support style. No, he was just right next to basically everyone on the Waska team.
Can't help but say it, but I'm picking up Game 1 vibes.
Yeah, and again, they made that smoke happen as the Aegis had just expired. They had their BKBs while Aegis still had a minute left on it, and they chose to just wait back and not play with it. Imagine if Luna was leading the charge, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can
Shifting
take
from
the
that
choice.
1.5 minutes left on Aegis, they get a kill on the Underlord, take the tier 2 tower, back to their side of the map. They smoke as the Aegis expires. It's like, you already made a good move. You don't have to force this one. Unforced errors, the key word.
Yep. You much of a tennis player, unforced errors?
No, but it's a good term that I've learned in the last 2 years.
It's the way I play. Not making a lot of errors, but forcing them to make errors.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the best satisfaction, right? Domi doesn't really get charged on. 10 seconds for Roche. Give me a Roche prediction time.
Hold on. I'm looking at Tylon on the bottom side of the map as Leipnir actually lands onto Yodomi.
Now let's see if they fight this one. Let's see if it's a quicker or a long one either. At the same time, Qatar with a Laguna Blade straight to the Nature's Prophet. It's a 7-second Roche spawn.
Dire's middle tower
Okay.
is under
That's
attack.
pretty quick.
So if they can maybe get another kill going their way, they could just portal top, take over that area, find Roche is already in his pit. The scan connects. They're still on the hunt for Frank, but he's teleporting out.
Nice little juke spot.
Won't find him there. So Roche will have to wait for a bit. They'll get at least a T1 here. Kataro's damage with the drinking buddies. Man.
Yep. You gotta just...
Dire's
You gotta
bottom
break
tower
Dota.
has
That's what
fallen.
you do.
Yeah, he picked the level 10 talent for that too. I think you'd go for the Walrus Punch stun duration just to get a bit of extra CC, but plus
Not when you got a
25
machine
damage.
gun Lina.
Oh yeah, 120 right-click damage. Oof.
Double damage.
Had that on top of... What auras have we got? Oh, Underlord's actually going for the Aghanim Scepter as well. So
Conker's
even more
alone.
control.
Are scanning.
The wards that they
Wouldn't be the
placed
first
down here in
time.
the top area, there's nobody else to be found here. They were thinking about jumping the Kunkka for a moment. Dark Mago, nice
Backline.
jukes around the trees. Now he's going in again. 80 rune eclipse right on top of the Kunkka, and that rum's gonna do you no good. He's gonna figure out that was not the whiskey that he signed up for. Meanwhile, the pig is just getting pummeled by Kataro. He's got the buffs, he's got the damage. The snowball will be used to buy some time and save this Lina. Luna's on the run away, and they will get Tai Lung to right-click Kataro down. 2 for 1 so far. Yatomi could be the third casualty. Maybe Sacred gets Demon, but he doesn't have the damage to do it all by himself, and Wits returns to clean up.
It's a few times now that Dark Margo's just been completely separated from his team. I can understand feeling relatively tanky in the early stages of the game, but is far beyond that point. You know, he's fallen, what, 3k behind the Nature's Prophet now, despite doing a pretty good job in lane. And he doesn't exactly have the tankiest of items, right? Like, maybe if he... I don't know, many people are building Hark these days, but you get the sense of what I'm saying, right? Like, he's not unkillable by any stretch, especially if you can get that, that Pulverize onto him prior to him being able to pop anything.
Costly for Waska, because that's gonna also be the second Roshan and a banner.
You saw how quickly the egg was still able to melt. It was Kataro focusing in onto that one versus anyone else. They might be able to get a quick kill here. I'm not sure if this is the best choice.
They already used take aim as well on Matthew, and not a lot of damage he would deal anyway with the Philosopher's Stone.
They still want more.
-30. Maybe they can catch someone here, but Luna is out.
Everyone's
Willow,
out.
Primal, they're all gone. So winning a team fight, winning Roche for free. A couple.
And you got to say, you probably feel a little bit more confident about, I don't know. I was about to say the scaling of the supports, even on Dibujitos, like Phoenix, amazing late game support hero. Same sort of thing with Willow. If you give her the space to, and wouldn't you know it, Demon has the Aghanim Scepter queued up, but you can't put it beyond a Tusk to be able to do a similar sort of thing, right? Once it gets to the later stages. So many different options. He's gone for the Boots of Bearing for now, just giving even more potential to just eliminate that egg super quickly. Even, you know, enable the Sniper to become a little bit of a right-clicker himself. So I think
Yeah,
it's
you
just
feel
like,
comfortable having supports like this on both sides.
Yeah.
Not the ones that fall off. Like if this was a game of like Treant Protector, you itemize your way out of his ulti, and his existence, his impact in the game starts to shrug off the further we go. But these will carry their weight no matter how long this game goes.
Margot, he's so deep again.
Same place he died before.
Is
They
it
already
bait, though?
rewarded once. But they're gonna probably figure out that there's probably more vision in here. Tai Lung
He's got the ages
as well. They could get the chance to turn around. Tidal Wave pushing him closer to Kataro. That is life number 1 down the drain. Almost. Not enough, though. The egg will explode as well.
The Sunray power.
The Sunray power, indeed. As Wits is going to focus himself on Sacred with all that extra right-click damage from the Moonstorm. Matthew splitting to run away. Kataro is on the run out. He'll lose the Underlord and the Tusk. And now the Sniper still, well, making some space, but it's just the supports chasing him. The cores will get their way to the T2 tower.
Thankfully for his sake, it didn't end up punishing him too hard. Stinger had that entire fight with the Yule Scepter in his backpack, but didn't end up needing it.
Radiant's top tower
Feel
has
pretty
fallen.
terrible if someone just TP'd away in your face, but yeah, that is... How many times now has Dark Margot just kind of put his team into a bad spot because of his positioning? And,
Radiant's top
you know,
tower
like you
is
said,
under
the
attack.
exact same spot that they had previously. Now they're going to get a Tormentor in very, very quick fashion, completely for free. And it over
Pretty sure.
to Luna?
Pretty sure someone's going to make a party game out of that soon.
Just like that was a huge amount of healing coming through from Stinger, right? Perfect positioning as well, right? Just sitting way on the back lines, even out of range of a Lina who's got, you know, Hurricane Pike. And eventually you're going to get into the 37-minute mark. I'm imagining someone is going to be holding onto Telescope if it's available to them, just, again, for that attack range bonus.
Pushing down the mid lane. The last tier 2 on their sights. Waska could be good off with a bit of a
Radiant's middle
breather.
tower has fallen.
Last 2 fights haven't really felt like proper fights for them.
I mean, even without drinking buddies, you've got 325 damage on this Lina, which has the potential to crit as well, and is only 500 gold away from Daedalus. So this is scary. Like, Lina just needs to be controlled. They need to stay away from Lina. They need to take away her potential to just, you know, sit back and right-click.
Yeah. You're seeing a ton of sprouts being cast on her, the pulverize attempts being made.
At least she's
And
got
of
the
course-
Hurricane Pike for herself now, so she's not just on an island reliant on others to be able to get out of that sprout.
There's a bit of a little haste room there for Wits. If only they got through the Aegis, that could have been a
Hold on.
fight. Tyrion is
Kataro
TPing
is
back in.
complete-
BKB already used the Kataro. Egg is popped. Wits BKB'd up too. Lina gonna have to try and make a run out from there. Does get rooted up once again. Yadomi will die for this. Falling up, the tidal wave will push them away. Won't be able to chase them to the high ground, so it's just a Tusk, but a plenty of BKBs used. Primal didn't use his, and neither did Tai Lung, actually, because he had that Aegis all the time.
This time around, I think they're going to be a lot more measured about their use of the Aegis. It's expiring in 20 seconds, so when you've got BKBs expended on pretty much everyone on Waska, just back off, get your next layer of farm, and I'd say once again, maybe you wait for Tusk, but I'm expecting a smoke to be on the cards very, very shortly for them.
Yeah.
Once they know this Aegis is gone, Luna would be my main target. No BKB, you got to stop her from getting to that level 25 and extending what is already a huge amount of net worth on just one hero.
Oh yeah, when you think about the situation as well in terms of current gold being held by players, Dire are the ones who can finish an item. Waska, there's nothing coming in anytime soon. They're all broke.
Still doesn't have that concussive grenade on the sniper. He's had it queued up and he's like, oh, one more item. We can maybe get it off the Tormentor. Well, Tormentor died 2 minutes ago, so I feel like, yes, it's going to be nice to get the Solar Crest. Concussive grenade, far more value at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, he had that shard lined up since he bought the cloak for his Glimmer Cape.
Yeah.
That was, what, 23 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
And he was 7-1. Now he's 7-5. Not a lot of changes there, but of course, you know, he is the support. He's not supposed to be picking up these kills. Wits calls for a pause, although they are smoked up right next to the Dark Willow.
It's not who you want though. Like Willow,
It's not who you want exactly, yeah. And there
she
could be
hasn't fought
more
back.
people. It could be a bait even. They have no vision here.
They have no vision. I mean, they have okay vision, right? They've got like river vision, but it's not exactly providing them too much of anything. They know they're not in the
Yeah.
jungle as well because of this deep Yodomi ward that they placed.
Between two high grounds, right? You could get pincered really quick.
Yeah, for sure. So I wonder if they do look to make this jump. I mean, again, the thing that they're not lacking is quick ways to be able to, deal damage onto demons. So maybe while they're in this, I think, is the torrent already cast? Yeah, it is. It's on the ground already. So if demon gets hit by this, they're just going to look to try and convert on a kill and get the hell out. They miss though. Can you commit for this?
Way pushing in back. Phoenix on the side, not going to help out Demon. Yule's buying a bit of time here. Everybody else is already scattering around the map, pushing themselves away. There are Treants taking the
they see the Luna.
and they got it. And the range rack stays falling while they are fighting versus Wits. But is it enough? The BKB, the X-Mark, it is! They're going to get the Luna straight back into their arms. Once again, X-Mark proving to be stronger than the BKB. Wits is down. The range rack has fallen in the Radiant base as we speak.
Doesn't matter though if you're able to take out this Luna. She didn't end up popping the Eclipse, so she still has that available. But even if you buy back, no BKB doesn't really feel all that effective, and someone's going to need to go back and deal with this. It's Matthew.
I love the Megas. The melee ranks almost going down as well, but Armago with Yadomi versus the Phoenix versus the Nature's
a lot of
Prophet.
damage
This
from
guy
Tylon.
packs a real big punch here. The leash on the Kunkka gets out from the Sprout. Miriam teleport in 5 seconds. And Yule's coming out from the Phoenix as well. Dark Mago will die to the Vessel. And you don't see a whole lot these days, but definitely a good one here versus the Kunkka. Tusk gonna get caught by the Pulverize. And they're marching high ground here with Sacred and Katara. Force out the Glyph. They're still staying around with the double catapults. They know they're not near their base right now. They're probably suspecting they have teleports and cooldown. Phoenix doesn't even have a teleport right now. Charge audio cue coming in. Nice Pain of Malice there early by Sacred. Primal Beast caught Laguna into the Blade Mail. Does take some damage here, but can they get the full-on kill? Primal backing away. Tylon getting a couple punches in. Phoenix does not have the Supernova. Vesseled up though. Lina in trouble. The charge coming out. The Yules will buy some time for the Phoenix as well. The Pulverize and Lina will go down. But they will take the Phoenix. Can they get Tylon? Assassinate flies in. Sacred gets another. He's dying to the Pharasma. Takes the Thailand, will get his vengeance. And Matthew versus Primal Beast. The Treant.
The Treant
in between. Takes
the tomato.
Oh.
Underlord
They're
forced
all
to buy
dead.
back.
Buy
Just to
back. Gotta space.
protect this double wave, excuse me, from coming through here. Still a bit messy though, isn't it, T? Like, no one's really, in the past few minutes, no one's really stamped their mark on this game. Yes, it's still a 16k net worth lead for Dibujitos, but saw there that if Luna doesn't look to instantly TP out, that X mark is still going to be impactful.
Yeah, this is not very sophisticated Dota, isn't it? It's very gritty, it's very brawly. Everyone feels like they're stronger than what they actually are, and hence we see a lot of these overextensions.
Oh, no cheating, T. What does Matthew have queued up? Have a guess.
Matthew, do they need tower down? Desolator?
Have a look.
Oh, what?
I have
You
to
got- you
imagine
got
it's
the
to deal with
shard.
the Ironwood Treant.
You got the shard. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I guess it is. He doesn't have any right-click damage with this build.
I mean, Tusk just bought one, and I assume he sold it immediately. Maybe he just bought the Vlads instead. I didn't quite see.
Matthew, like, no, me. Sell that. That's my item.
He's not even got it yet. Come on.
40-minute Midas. Oh, okay. Gonna have to start looking at Midas statistics for snipers. Like, when do we? Oh man. I'm just gonna take a look.
Sure.
It'll take me a moment, but I want to take a look at that.
If he does get max value out of it and gets up to level 25, that shrapnel minus 30-second recharge time is really nice. It takes 5 seconds to get another charge out of the shrapnel, so you can deal a ton of damage in team fights, you can shove out lanes really effectively, you can give vision quite nicely, so it's certainly nothing to sneeze at, but just feels a little dirty, you know, especially as a support.
Well, I can tell you this much. At least in the last couple of years, the slowest pickup on a Sniper Midas has been 46 minutes. So he just scrapped that plan completely and he swapped over to Lotus Orb.
Good. That's sounds much more logical to come through because again, they are lacking in stuns very heavily on Dibujitos. So if you've got that Lotus Orb, doesn't matter if you've got the Pulverize that's going to be going through the BKB. Lotus just completely turns things around.
Yeah, not one but two as well. Underlord has another one queued up. So both Sacred and Matthew want to get a bit of extra armor versus the right-click damage on the Luna and the Prophet while also saving themselves from debuffs. So that works.
Either team can go for this top Roshan. It's only got 30 seconds left on it. Of course, Sacred able to join them at any time. Tai Long is in a similar sort of boat as well, just trying to rat down on this bottom side of the map as he... You have to wonder if he's even like... Do they want to force a fight so that Underlord TP's out and you still like just try and go for the base? Because I don't really think the lanes are in a spot that even if you won a team fight or got a couple of really valuable kills, can Waska really make the most out of that at this point is the question that I'm having.
It's not quite like the game we saw in TI on the final day where everything was gone from the base and the last thing to do was just the Ancient without the glyph. They're portaling mid. They spot Tai Long. He just BKBs. Decides to instantly TP at Dark Mago. Does he get... Oh, he's got the X mark. He's going to bring him back. Dude, there is something with this ability versus Beak. I'm telling you.
They will still end up giving up Roshan, so it's not like they got that kill completely for free, although TPs are coming in. The Rainbow, Dark Mago with the Torrent is going to be enough.
Aegis picked up items, picked up Wits, BKB'd already. They're not willing to fight
on the deck.
this one.
Oh,
Jesus, down and a Willow caught too. Will not be for nothing. Wits was able to save most of the items. He drops the Refresher and the banner in the pit, picks up the Aegis, but it is still 2 kills and a cheese. And no BKBs for a moment as well. That's a 70-second cooldown for Wits. Is it enough for Waska?
Man, it must feel so horrible for Dark Mago to still be carrying around a Quelling Blade just because of this freaking Nature's Prophet. I hate it. Like, Battle Fury is a dead item, so you can't really do that anymore. And what are you supposed to do? You just got this one hero. I mean, what's the neutral item called that actually does kind of counter it a little bit?
The Sprout?
Yeah. Oh god. What was it?
Which
Light Collector. Light Collector. Destroys trees.
Oh yeah, Light Collector. Yeah, nobody ever brings that one up. That's true.
Every time I'm playing against a Prophet, I'm like, please, 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 give me the Light Collector.
Well, they're gonna try and utilize this moment of no BKB up on the Luna. Aegis or not, 20 seconds. They'll get the tier 3 out of the way. That is some structural damage. Opens up a lane at least.
Hello,
if they ever
Primal?
get creeped in. Frank is playing very aggressive here, trying to catch Yadomi. Gets caught by the Walrus Punch.
That's just a wasted BKB.
That is a wasted BKB indeed. What was that play? I mean, his team wasn't ready to follow. Not on the same page.
His Courier as well. Holding on to a bunch of items, because he's only 600 gold away from an Aghanim Scepter on this Primal Beast as well.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
They've left the base, by the way. The Refresher and the banner were forgotten. Somebody's Courier's picking them up now. Willow's thinking about it. Already picked up the shard for a moment, just leaves it back there again. Sacred in the front line. Hex
Oh, the
comes
Lotus!
out. The Lotus perfectly timed. Phoenix is dying, but not fast enough. But dies in the end. Doesn't get the egg off at all. That is a couple casualties already. Frank, that Tai Long running away from Kataro, but doesn't get the kill. And Wits is pushed down to the low ground by Kunkka with the tidal wave. Sacred's going to be right nearby. Another pit of
Got BKB.
They're going to catch the
Still
Willow
got Satanic.
again as well. Boats are flying in. Wits is just being pummeled. That Satanic ain't saving you today. And the Willow gone too. All because of a Lotus finished on the Underlord. We talked about them having it lined up, him and the Sniper, and instantly pays off.
Just a little bit slow on the fingers there was Stinger, right? Like he dives in, he buys back as well, but there's nowhere to TP to. They didn't take the outpost, so he just took way too long to be able to get back, and he might die again. This is a dieback.
Oh no.
Scythe?
Kataro right there. The Hex comes out though, but a dive is ready. The right clicks isn't enough. The assassinate, it is!
Oh, yeah. This could just be game. Two games in a row that might knock them out of the qualifiers, where they were in a very, very commanding position.
In the
It was a
same way.
16k net worth
In the
lead.
same way. It's a deja vu.
Barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks
Waska.
has
Oh my God.
fallen.
You know, when you're expanding a Luna buyback, it's, well, I think she actually
Is
popped.
under attack.
Did someone end up using the
Dire's
refresher?
middle tower has fallen.
It's in the stash of the Primal Beast right now.
Dire's middle
Witch could
tower
use that.
has
Witch could
fallen.
really use that.
We could use anything right now.
Just dying pretty much to the spell's been thrown in his general direction.
Just
He's
died
gone.
again?
Yeah, they're just...
Is under attack.
This is tilting.
This is very tilting. I mean, Frank is going in, trying to buy some time, but it is a
You
pretty,
don't have Luna.
they don't have anything left anymore. They're just completely drained down to the tank and Waska. I mean, I have to say, I'm a tad bit worried about their tournament life here. They will get to continue, sure, but they just got 2 games handed to them in the literal final moments. 2 games in a row in the same series. And Waska continues, and Dibujitos, they are out of this.